talking Ball State. Don Shondell and Ray McCallum talking Ball State. Nate Davis and Bonzi Wells, Schumann, Bell Tower, and Worthen. Fans all over from Muncie to Berlin. Getting Concannons, Carters, and Greeks. All right, everyone out there in Cardinal land, welcome to another live edition of Ball State of the Union, your number one Ball State football podcast. By the fans, for the fans. We're talking current headlines, exclusive interviews with Cardinal athletes and coaches, and fun off-the-wall debates that you are not going to hear anywhere else. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all of your favorite social media platforms. And as always, when you hear that wonderful, beautiful song accompanied by that beautiful voice, you know we're about to be talking Ball State. I am John, your host, as always, joined by Colin from Ball State Football Talk. Colin, coming off a big win is always a good sign. How are we doing since Sunday?
Yeah, feeling good. Hoping the team's feeling good, having a good week of practice. Super excited for this Western Michigan game. I'll be there. Hopefully we get a dub.
Yeah. And so we got a couple friends from Western Michigan who are coming on in just a second. But before we get to them, a couple pieces of business here. Number one, if you can hear my voice, you're watching the show right now, and you want to get involved in the conversation, be sure to put your questions or comments that you have in the live feed wherever you're watching, whether that's on YouTube, on Twitter, or on Facebook, and we will read them all at the end of the show. Also, as always, Ball State of the Union is partnering with the Shop Indie. That's the Shop Indie. That's www.theshopindie.com. You can order anything you want on their shop. Ball State, it could be something from the Colts, the Pacers, the Indiana Fever. Why you would want to order from something from Indiana, Hoosiers, Purdue, Butler, I have no idea, but you can if you want to. And if you use that code BSUnion, you're going to get free shipping on your order. Again, that's code BSUnion for free shipping on anything from the Shop Indie. And as always, also, Ball State of the Union is a proud member of the College Huddle. The College Huddle is a group of independently made college sports podcasts out there, and we kind of all work together out there so we can bring, our podcast to all kinds of different fans. So if you're interested in any other teams other than Ball State, whether maybe you're a Western Michigan fan, you're a Florida State fan, you're a Michigan State fan, whoever you're a fan of, go check out the College Huddle. They should have some teams there to represent that you can listen to and enjoy. So that is our two main pieces of business here, Colin. Without further ado, as always, we like to have on people from the fan bases of teams that we are playing. So obviously this weekend, Ball State travels to Western Michigan, and we found a great group of guys here from the Bronco Barn. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of places. Here they are. This is Michael and Patrick from the Bronco Barn. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. How are we feeling?
Feeling so good so far.
Feeling good. How are you?
Good. So before we jump in to the game this weekend up in Kalamazoo, we want to know a little bit more about the Bronco Barn, kind of how it got started. So I guess, Michael, I'll start with you. Really, how did this thing get started, and kind of what's your guys' approach when it comes to covering all things Western Michigan? Because I know you don't just talk football; you kind of look at everything.
Absolutely. We kind of started in 2023. We were a group of guys just chatting it up about our hockey team, believe it or not. So very far away from football in a sense. Mm-hmm. We got together and we're like, we should do something to kind of troll the other. We're in the National Collegiate Hockey Conference. So kind of troll the other teams and our rivals within that conference. And quickly we learned that, this could actually be something. Let's kind of turn it from trolling everyone to kind of actually presenting information, stats, just a different insight to fans, students, and alumni. So that's kind of how it started. And then for the first year or so, we were just kind of heavily hockey focused. And then we're like, hey, let's kind of jump out to some other sports. Softball really enjoyed us covering them. So then we're like, hey, what about football one year? Let's just try to do that. Everyone loved that, of course. And then everything really exploded. As you know, last year, our hockey team won the national championship. Mm-hmm. So everything kind of exploded around that point, and we kind of just were like, you know what, we're going to go all in on this in a sense and kind of just grow it and get everything going. So that's kind of how we got started and where we're at today.
There we go. This is a podcast of hockey champions. You guys are on here. I live in South Florida. I'm a big Florida Panthers fan. So to be on this podcast, you have to have some hardware in the hockey world right now.
Absolutely.
So Patrick, how did you kind of get involved? I know you're the graphics guy. So kind of what do you handle? Is it just graphics or what else do you do?
We dabble both in graphics. I'm kind of the head guy, and it all started just I've been a Western fan my whole life as a little kid, and just like we should put something together. Nobody else does it. Just do it as a fan perspective, and let's have fun with it. And here we are, 2 years later.
There we go. Yeah, that's the exact same reason this show exists. You know, the stuff that Ball State, the school, puts out is very good. It's very professionally done, but they're the only people who do it. There's no other fan accounts out there.
Yeah.
Finally said, you know what? Enough is enough. My man Colin here, he was ready to rock and roll about sometime last year, so he was getting fired up for stuff. So here we are now. We are with you guys. So
sweet.
We'll jump into this weekend. Before we do that, though, just for the Ball State fans out there listening, so far, Western Michigan 3-3 on the season, with a big win over Toledo and wins also against Rhode Island and UMass. Western Michigan leads the all-time series with Ball State, 29 games to 22, and Ball State's last victory over Western Michigan was in 2021. Now that's coming off of the crazy win in 2020 that Ball State had over Western Michigan, which we can get to later. But Michael, we'll start with you. We'll start with a big picture of this Western Michigan team. What's your kind of read on Western Michigan this season so far? Is it kind of the way you fans expected things to go? Is it going better? Is it going worse? Kind of where are we at here?
I mean, after the last couple of games, obviously it's going better than what we started with. We had a tough start to the season, of course, with Texas State, State being Michigan State, that is, of course, here in Michigan. We had North Texas, we had Illinois as well. So a really tough start to the season. And honestly, for those first 3 or 4 games, I will say our team was lost in a sense. You know, there was really no leadership on offense. We were running a dual quarterback system, and it wasn't really that much of a surprise to defenses, especially since with Lowry, he is more of a running quarterback style, and Jones is more of a passer. So when you brought one or the other in, defenses knew, oh, you're going to run it. Oh, you're going to pass it. So it was very known what there was going to happen. But the last couple of weeks, we've kind of given that leadership over to Lowry, and you can kind of see how the offense is starting to click. We're not going to be a big Showtime, explosive offense, but we're going to grind it out play in and play out, if I can get my words correct here, and just kind of, in a sense, shove it down your throat all game long.
Okay. So, Patrick, I'll go to you. Who'd you say is the biggest surprise so far this year for Western Michigan? Maybe a breakout player or position group. Just if I say what's the biggest surprise for the 2025 Western Michigan Broncos football team, what would you say?
I don't know if it's a surprise. I know I would say the defense. Defense has been great this year and last year as well. And it's just the guys that step up big as a whole. It's all a team effort. Every game go in, it's a team. And, we don't like to point out guys individually. It's like, oh, Bosma, yeah, he's good. But you got the whole front line. That's massive. And you try to run game, you're stopping them. It's tough up front.
Well, I say that'll be a good matchup to watch this weekend, because obviously Ball State can run the ball pretty well with not only the quarterback but the running backs as well. So Michael, every team has ups and downs. Obviously, you guys are about 6 games into the season. What's been maybe the biggest challenge so far this year, or like a spot that maybe there's been some growing pains for Western that maybe you thought that were going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go right back to that leadership again, because, when you don't really have an identity on offense and you're trying to flip it between, oh, we want to be this, oh, and then the next drive, oh, we want to be this. It's very hard for everyone to be on the same page of, oh, we're just going to run it and grind it out and throw a short pass here and there when we need to, versus, oh, well, this drive we're going to run it, but next drive we're going to try and air it out the entire time. So the consistency hasn't always been there. But like I said, the last couple of games, that's really turned around, and I'm kind of glad we had that Rhode Island. I don't want to call it a cupcake game, because they're a top 15 team in the FCS, and we all know that an FCS team in the top can cause havoc in the FBS matchup, of course. So I'm glad we had that game to kind of settle our nerves. Toledo, I'll be honest, I was hanging out with my girlfriend and we had other things going on and I saw what it was happening. I was like, I'm done for right now. I gotta focus on her and what we're doing. And Patrick texted me. He's like, dude, we just beat Toledo. And I hadn't even gotten the ESPN notification. Yeah, I pull it up and I'm like, no way, how did this happen? But it was just one of those things of Lowry came in, and I think that really cemented him as the leader of the offense. Of he took it in his own hands in a sense and ran it in and did a few other things that were amazing. And he earned himself the starting and the leadership of our offense at that point.
Yeah, I have a similar story. Last week, obviously, Ball State pulled off a big upset win against Ohio, and I was in the middle of the Caribbean Sea on a cruise, so I was getting updates from Colin. So the biggest Ball State win in a handful of years, and I was in the middle of the ocean. So unfortunately, was not able to catch it like you were talking about the Toledo game. So Colin is more of my X's and O's guy. He likes to kind of dive into stuff. So I know he has a couple questions for you guys as well.
Yeah, Michael. So you were discussing the identity of the offense there and how it would go back and forth between what quarterback they had in. I know Lowry scored 2 rushing touchdowns against Toledo to win the game, 14-13, but is that basically the offense? Is it a read option with the quarterback and then they throw maybe on third downs or and once the run game has it open? What would you say the identity on the offense is in general?
Absolutely. That run option is huge for Western. And unfortunately they didn't really pick up on that in the beginning few games against State. I really thought we could have made that State game closer, to be honest. But our inconsistency I think the quarterback is the leadership of the offense, like hands down. I don't care who's the greatest at it comes down to the quarterback and his confidence and his leadership there. But in regards to it, Lowry has learned a lot in the last couple of weeks on how to manage that offense, and it is night and day from how the season started. He's much better at reading whether he should keep it, whether he should run with it. That's something that I had a huge question about coming into the season, because Lowry was previously our quarterback and everything, and he tended to hand off the ball when he should have kept it and could have gotten 10, 15 yards easily. He's doing a lot better of that this year. And like you said, just those little dump plays on third down, that's all we need. We don't need to flash it out 20, 30 yards each pass, but he's a great intermediate short game passer, and he's pretty spot on when he can do those, and so that's what our offense is. And it turns into touchdowns. It may be a 10 to 15 play drive, but it turns into a touchdown.
Patrick, who would you say is the heartbeat of the offense other than Lowry? And who are some playmakers that really make this team go?
They're all great guys. I've got 3 in mind. I've got Blake Bosma, Jalen Buckley, and Miles running back. The 3,
Okay.
call them 3 stooges that are on the outsides that really get stuff going on the on the perimeters.
Okay. Patrick, defensively, what's the strength of this group so far? And where have they struggled against teams with Ball State's similar kind of style? Do they struggle against run first teams, or is it more like, are you more worried when you go against a pass first kind of offense?
In my opinion, I would say the pass in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
You can have double teams. That's nice. The one-on-ones is where it gets tough.
Mm-hmm.
Up front for defense, it's great. It's a brick wall. Once you get past that second layer, it's a little iffy down the field.
Okay. Michael, when you look at Ball State from the outside looking in, what stands out to you about this team?
I mean, I've been going to Western and enjoyed Western since I attended there in the late 2000s, early 10s, of course. And the one thing that I'm amazed by each year with certain MAC teams that we play, doesn't matter how good they are, how bad they are, it's always a matchup. And that seems to be true between Western and Ball State year in, year out. There have been some memorable games, of course, for both of us, and then also some not so memorable for both of us as well. But it's, our series record shows it. We always have a great game. We always have a close game. And honestly, Ball State has been one of those teams that can be kind of sneaky against you if you even think about underestimating them. If they're like, oh, they're just a run-only offense, oh, cool, they'll flip the switch and now they're a passing offense, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like scrambling for like, where did this come from? Honestly, I love that they're also a running team. I'm a guy that if the score is, 6-3 like it was with Northern Illinois a few weeks ago, losing, I like those type of games. I love a defensive game where that one play can make the biggest difference out of the entire game. Not a penalty or a bad play necessarily, but just that one really good play. And I feel like that always happens with Ball State and Western. And that's something that I'm always looking forward to. And hopefully I can see again this weekend.
Yeah, Michael, where do you think Western has that edge against Ball State where they can lean on to possibly beat Ball State?
I think it is going to be a combination between the defense and the offense. The first is going to be our defense going to be holding your offense to some really short drives. And then our offense going to keep your offense off the field with some really long drives and kind of wear down your defense. That's where I think it's going to be. Coach Taylor's always talking about how we're a grinding team. We're very gritty. We like to get into those situations where we're just pushing against each other and our will win in a sense. So I do believe in that and think that that's where we're going to win is just in the trenches. We're going to stop you guys, hopefully get you guys in a couple 3-and-outs, and then we're going to turn around and we're just going to grind it out down the field, get your offense cold, get your defense tired and on its heels. And that's where we're going to shine.
Patrick, on the flip side, what worries you a little bit about playing Ball State this upcoming Saturday?
From some research I've done, is just the sacks. Nathan Forrest, he's got almost 4 sacks on the outside right there. And, you have with all pro teams, sometimes that offensive line is weak on the outsides, and that could cave in, and that could let in, of course, some sack plays. Then you have your secondary guys that are also fast, that can run down people. So that makes it challenging for pass plays.
So, Patrick, Michael kind of mentioned he thinks it's going to be a grinded out sort of game this upcoming Saturday. Do you agree? Is it going to be a defensive slugfest, or will it be more high scoring than Michael thinks?
I think it'll be a slugfest. Even with hockey, football, basketball in the MAC, it's tough. It's every game, whether it's Western, Ball State, Central, Eastern, whoever, it's always tough games. And that's what the conference is all about. They call them action for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturdays can be a great game between 2 good teams. And no matter what the record is, it's going to be grinding, big man football, and it'll be great. And homecoming for Western on Saturday as well. So.
All right,
John,
that's all I have.
You got anything else, Colin? Okay, perfect. All right. So Western Michigan, Colin's going to be up in Kalamazoo this weekend. Can you boys give him some good recommendations of things, maybe bars to go to, restaurants to go to, things he should see when he gets there?
Yes. Ironically, we had a Rhode Island fan, a couple fans, fly out to Western and went to that game. And I gave him Old Burdick's downtown. They just finished the entire remodel. You've got Waldo's downtown, or Waldo's on campus for a college bar. Across the road is University Arena, or University Roadhouse, which is stellar food. And there's some other ones too, but those are my top 3 that people enjoy down there.
Michael, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, if you're looking for some Sweetwater donuts, it's a staple here in Kalamazoo area. So if you want your coffee and your donuts, go ahead and grab those. I don't know what day you're coming up, but if you are coming up tomorrow, come on over to Lawson Ice Arena. We're playing Ferris State in hockey, and we're
Nice.
raising our banner tomorrow.
there
So
you go.
I don't know how pretty of a ticket you want, but those tickets are a decent price. Don't get me wrong. I'll be there tomorrow for that game. Unfortunately, I won't be there for Saturday's homecoming game. But yeah, I mean, food wise, Latitude 42, hand down. It's a local brewery. There's a couple of locations in town. Decent food. You can feel like a kid again with the adult juice boxes. So definitely do that. So definitely some great choices. But that's typically one of the spots that I take people when I'm going with them for a Western game is Latitude 42.
Okay. I got a couple other questions here before we let you guys go that I've been always curious about. So as Western Michigan fans, who do you dislike more? Central Michigan or Eastern Michigan?
Central
for sure.
I mean,
Okay.
Mount Pleasant Community College.
Okay, perfect. So I was talking about that game in 2020 earlier where we had that crazy ending where the band, basically the Stanford Cal, the band was on the field. We've had the quarterback from that game, Drew Plitt, on before. Colin, I feel like we've had someone else on before who we talked about that as well. But
Magwood was still
Keon Magwood was there. Okay. Do you guys remember that game and where were you when that happened?
Oh, where was I in that for that game? I remember seeing it. I believe, I'm trying to think, 2020, I was there and there. I believe I was actually out and about during that game. I actually had to watch highlights at the end. But yeah, I don't remember watching it live. The one that I remember from that season watching live was our Western Toledo game that we won it miraculously in the last few seconds. So, but the Ball State, I watched highlights for.
Okay. What about you, Patrick? Do you remember that game at all?
Yeah, living room TV, it was like this, and I'm like, oh, geez. And then the other game I remember is the Buffalo Western 7 overtime.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was in again, I live down in South Florida, so I was at the Miami Hurricanes North Carolina Tar Heels game that night, and I was watching it in the upper deck. And what happened is they threw a flag trying to figure out what was going on, and then the feed just cut out. It went completely black. No one could see anything. And so then we just had no idea. So I'm sitting there at this game down in Miami trying to figure out what happened. And so we eventually figured out what happened, and that Ball State did end up winning. So it was a crazy game. I remember, and like you said, there are always close games between Western and Ball State. So last question before I get you guys out of here. Either of you fans of the Detroit Tigers?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm a big Tigers fan. I grew up going to Tiger spring training in Lakeland. Patrick, we got to get this done on Friday. We got Tarek Skubal back on the mound. We got it covered here. We got it covered. Let's go, Patrick. We got it. All right.
Let's do it, man. Get the win.
Perfect. All right. Well, boys, I appreciate it. You guys enjoy. Whenever you're up in Western Michigan, I know you're going to the game, Michael. You guys enjoy that. I got someone in the chat here saying Bullseye Bronco. I'll pull it up right here.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Dude is a Cubs fan.
Yeah,
I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs fan.
Are they They're playing right now, aren't they?
They did. They actually won. I don't even know if they won today. I didn't get that notification yet, so I hope they did. If not, they just got swept. If not, another game coming up here. I'm Chicago
Cubs
everything
4-3.
except
Cubs
for three sports. So I'm for college. One of my minor league baseball teams and my English Premier team. Everything else is Chicago. So I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a North side, not South side. So
Bullseye Bronco. Wow, what a real fan.
Yeah. He's a good friend of mine, so I know exactly what's going on. Yep.
Perfect. All right. Well, guys, we appreciate your time. Best of luck to you guys this year, except for Saturday. And then we'll talk again in the future.
Sounds good. It's a pleasure being on.
See you guys.
Yep.
All right. That was our friends from the Bronco Barn. They're a Western Michigan group there on Twitter. Colin, you're going to be ready? You're going to go to any of those spots that they suggested?
Yeah, I like sweets, so I might stop into the Sweetwater shop. That sounds kind of good. Maybe a post-game chocolate, or I like the chocolate-covered espresso beans. Those slap.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, again, anyone out there listening, if you can hear us, be sure to leave your questions, comments in the live chat wherever you're at, and we will get to them at the end of the show. Now, joining us, newly minted Hall of Famer for the Ball State Cardinals, the one, the only Mr. Willie Snead. Willie, Good to see you again, man.
Willie, you're on mute.
Uh-oh, we're muted, Willie.
There we go.
There we
Y'all
go.
got me?
All right. Yep, we can hear you now.
What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up? Good to see
Not
you.
much, man. It's good to see you guys. I just saw you guys on Monday.
I know. You're getting too much of us. You saw Colin last weekend. You saw us on Monday.
Yeah.
Too much of us.
Could be seeing you real soon, but
Yeah,
to
perfect.
be determined.
TBD. All right, let's get into some news. I got some stuff here for you I want to get you guys' reaction to. So, Willie, you're no stranger to winning awards as a wide receiver in your time at Ball State.
Yeah.
But we had one this week. Mr. Keon Magwood won an award. I'd never heard of this award before, but I thought it was kind of funny. Where is it here? Congratulations. Here we go. So Keon Magwood wins the U.S. Farm Raised Catfish Catch of the Week by Lindy Sports. Now that is no shade to the award. It's a very funny name. Willie, did you ever win any awards like this during your time at Ball State, like a play of the week or something like that?
No, they weren't making special awards like this, man. Farm raised catfish catch. Like, you gotta like that. That's awesome.
Colin, if you won an award that was the Farm Raised Catfish Catch of the Week, where would you display the trophy?
Probably over the fireplace. I'm vegan though, so maybe like in the kitchen. Like, I don't know.
You think
I don't
they're
know.
gonna
That's a
get a
good
trophy
question.
for this? You think they got a like actual
Oh, maybe they don't.
I don't know,
Maybe
but they
don't.
should.
a certificate or something?
Yeah, they should get something for this. So, yeah. But again, all joking aside, unbelievable play that Ball State fans are going to remember for a long, long time. That game-winning, catch against Ohio that we talked about on Monday, I guess. But yeah, I saw that, and while it's awesome that Keon won this award, and it's definitely deservedly so, it's a crazy name, U.S. Farm Raised Catfish Catch of the Week. So I'm going to keep an eye on who wins that award here in the future. So
Yeah, correct. Congrats to Keon, man. That was a hell of a play, and that picture was dope. I don't know who took that picture, but fire.
Yeah, that actually also, I guess the MAC runs like a picture of the week contest thing. That photo actually won it as well. I didn't have that in here, but now that you brought that up, I do remember that too. So another big guy, another person from this weekend who obviously had a big day, and we talked about him some. Nathan Voris leads the nation in sacks as of right now. 8 total sacks through 5 games for Ball State.
Strong.
Colin, I know, again, we talk about this all the time. I remember before the season started, one of the biggest things you were talking about was how you really wanted to have that consistent pressure from these guys that we've been lacking in the years past. We have the number 1 guy in the country right now, as of right now, statistically. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and it's a feeling I haven't really felt in at least 5 years. And it's such a game changer too when as a fan you're watching and you know that the defense can be fun and exciting and like a good play for you. Because like when you don't have a good defense and you're feeling like, it's not a good feeling to be on defense. But when I see him, when I see Ashton Whitner, when I see Joey Stimler, when I see these guys that we got, it's comforting. So it's a great feeling.
Willie, when you watch Nathan play, is this a scenario where he's playing really well against college guys, or is this a scenario where you see him as a guy who's going to be playing on Sundays based on the production he has?
Based on the production he's having, he's making a strong case that Sundays is where he's going to be landing. I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now, and he's playing like a man who's trying to prove himself. You know his story. We all know his story that, Ball State was his only call, and teams passed on him because they probably didn't think he was that special talent. But, you get guys like these every year, man, that guys are just, looked down upon or not given their flowers or just, given the credit that they deserve because of their work ethic or whatever. But this guy right here, man, is just a force to be reckoned with right now. And kudos to him for leading the nation in sacks right now. But if I know this guy, if I know his work ethic, he's not even thinking about that stuff. He's thinking about how can I stack up 3 more and kind of separate myself, because he can do it. I'm sure he's going to get more attention just with chips and tight ends helping tackles, because if you leave him on an island, I mean, quarterback's going to have a long day because he's got a motor. He's nasty at the point of attack. and he's got strong hands. So it's really cool to see. I haven't seen a guy like this in a while. I mean, a couple guys that come to mind is Jonathan Newsom, um, Nick Miles, Anthony Wimbush.
Hmm.
Those kind of guys come to mind when I see this cat. But he's just a man on fire right now. He's motivated by people's doubts, and I think Sundays is in the conversation right now. But I think it's up to him, and however the rest of the season goes, if he can legitimize that statement, what you just said.
Yeah, and when you were talking about his, his story of Ball State being the only place and teams kind of looking past him, he reminded me of someone you played with as well, who kind of, from my understanding, was in a similar position. Now, didn't play the same position; they played very different positions. But Jamil Smith was a guy who was overlooked a lot. People didn't really expect a lot of him when you just looked at him, but he had that heart and he had that passion. He became, a player that Ball State fans will remember forever. And obviously, I think Nathan is in a similar spot. They just needed a chance. They needed a chance to come somewhere and prove them. And that's kind of how I always remember Jamil Smith being that player. Is he kind of needed a spot to go and prove himself, and he did that and then some. I think in his time when you guys were playing together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He had
So.
that fiery attitude, man. He was motivated by
Mhm.
people's doubts.
Mhm.
And I think that's a dangerous thing if you have all the tools and the mindset to go out there and just put your best foot forward every game. Because I never had to worry about Jamil being ready for the moment or ready for the opportunity, right? Like that's who Nathan Flores is. Like he is ready for the moment. Whenever that moment comes, like it could be third down, it could be first down, it could be the end of the game. This guy, you just always have to keep your eyes on him. It's like, the Aaron Donald effect, right? I'm not calling him Aaron Donald, but if you don't check this guy, he could be a game wrecker. And that's
Mhm.
that's how I kind of see him through 5 games, uh, going into the rest of MAC play.
And I think actually before we have a couple more things about Nathan here because obviously he had such a stellar week. But before maybe the the New Hampshire game, I had mentioned that he was kind of on record watch in terms of potentially breaking this all-time single season sack record. And he is
Mhm.
definitely well on his way at this point. And so our friend Mick Tidrow, he kind of put the stats out there um, the other day. And since sacks became an official stat in 2000, so technically the official sack record at Ball State is 11 and a half. And Nathan's already got 8 through 5 games. Now, the unofficial one is 13. So I'll put it to you, Colin. Is Nathan Voris going to break this single season sack record at this rate?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yes. I mean, I know what Willie's saying is he's gonna get a lot of double teams. People are gonna be trying to make sure, prevent this from happening. But if he's at 8 right now and there's only 5 games in, he only needs 5.5 more to break. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. I gotta say yes.
Willie, I don't want to put you on the spot either, but I will. What do you think? Do you think this is a record that comes down this year, whether the official one or the unofficial one?
I think he gets 13 before the season's over with.
Mm-hmm.
I think life is going to get a lot harder for him because of what he's putting on tape.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to kind of put 2 or lead maybe 3 on this guy, depending on what day of the week it is. But I definitely see him getting 13 before the season is over with. I don't see him not getting 13 unless something happens that's out of his control, if you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I mean. But
Yep.
this guy is motivated, and it's a scary thing to see. But I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping he breaks this record because it's just whenever you get that opportunity, whenever you see a guy on his way to doing something great and being remembered, especially with single season, yeah, like I broke 3 single season records in 1 year. You know what I mean? So I know that was in the back of my mind, when I was in it. So, you got to think 5 more sacks, and he just got 3. What's to say he doesn't get 3 more?
Mm-hmm.
This And now we got like what 5 more games to go to get 2. He's on his way right now, so he just got to stay focused, locked in, and keep doing his thing, man, because he's doing it right now.
Yeah. So I guess we can say collectively as a show, we have broken multiple single season records for Ball State football.
Mm.
So there you go.
Strong.
There you go,
Strong.
Colin. You're in the record books now.
I'll take it.
All right, I got one more thing on Nathan here because, again, he had an awesome week, so the accolades were kind of piling up. He was also named the MAC Defensive Player of the Week, which is obviously not a surprise at all.
Mm.
Willie, how many of these did you win? Do you remember?
During my whole time, or just like my junior year?
No, just your whole time.
All the time. I want to say at least 10. I can't remember. Sometimes some weeks they wouldn't let me get back to back or 3 weeks in a row. Like I really didn't care about that stuff. It was awesome to be honored in that way, you know what I mean? But like, business as usual, right? Like we working, baby.
Colin, would you rather be the MAC Defensive Player of the Week, or would you rather win the Catfish Catch of the Week? Which would you prefer?
Oh, wow. I'll rather be the MAC Defensive Player of the Week than the Catfish Catch of the Week. I don't even really, the catfish, what's the like symbolic nature to that? Like what's a catfish like catch? I mean, I don't know. I've never really eaten catfish. I've never caught a catfish.
We saw it on Saturday.
Just imagine trying to catch a catfish with your bare hands. How hard that would be. Like
do they sting you with
they have like
whiskers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll catch you if you're not careful.
Gotta be careful.
So, okay. Well, I'm on record that I want the Catfish Catch of the Week, and if they don't make a trophy, they should. So that's the last time I'll bring it up. Okay. I got one other thing here I want to talk about. Willie, I know you saw this. Colin, I was talking to him about it before the show. It's something I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on how this played out. Now, before I bring this up, I want to say I'm a big fan of these guys. I think they do a great job. They cover the MAC very well. But this was a very interesting thing that I just don't understand how this even is possible. So, I want to get this out there first. So, our friends over at the MAC Sports Connection, they do their weekly power rankings. So this is their power rankings this week. So obviously Toledo's number 1, Ohio number 3, Ball State's number 9. So those are the main taking points. But if you look at week 5, Ohio was number 1 and Ball State was number 9. So Ball State beats the number 1 team according to these power rankings. The next week, Ohio drops 2 spots and Ball State doesn't move at all. So what he said was there's a handful of people who all vote on this and they aggregate the scores. So, okay, I can live with that if that's how this happens. But guys, my question is, how is it possible they didn't move up spots at all? How do you beat the number 1 team in the conference who's been the comments on this week 5 when we're saying Ohio is so much better than everybody else? There shouldn't even be a number 2. You should just skip number 2 and go right number 3. How can the group of people who vote on this watch this and not move Ball State at all? Colin, I'll start with you. How do you think this happened?
Yeah, I like to communicate with these guys, so I'm gonna be just like blunt with it. Like this is a little disrespectful to the Cardinals. Generally speaking, like if you beat a number 1 team, you should at least move up a couple spots.
I would think so.
I don't need 3. I don't need 5. But they move down 2. We stay at the same spot. I mean, there's a little bit of bias voting going on here. I don't know if I know there's a Toledo fan over there, and that makes sense because they're number 1. I don't know who else they like, though. I know it's multiple guys, but I know Ball State isn't one of them. And we don't have a huge media profile, so some people are asleep on us. But watch the tape. Watch the tape. We're better than NIU. How is NIU 7?
NIU can't score.
They don't have a quarterback. Are they watching? Like NIU just lost a game 6-3 to San Diego State, and you got them at 7. This is from last year. This is held over. This is like how they still got Notre Dame number 16. It's like, look, this is a different team. You guys are thinking of the NIU of last year. Like, I need, you know what I mean? Stop the count. Stop the count. It's terrible. That's all I got.
So like Colin was saying, it's not just one person doing this. There's a handful of people. And so basically they're all voting, they're aggregating it together, and then they spit out these rankings with all the aggregated things. So I understand how it works. I just don't know how it's possible that Ball State didn't move up at all. So Willie, as a player, if you see something like this, is it like bulletin board material for you? Is it just no sweat off your back? You're not going to worry about it. How does it kind of work in the player's eyes?
Yeah, like I don't we can't even pay attention to stuff like this, honestly, because it's either heavily biased or these people are not watching the football games. Because I think I just heard you guys say that Western Michigan beat Toledo
Hmm.
Yeah,
last weekend.
2 weeks.
I think it was a couple
So
weeks ago. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like I don't understand that part. And then Ohio only drops, and we should at least be top five. Like that's a strong move to beat the defending MAC champs. That speaks a lot of noise because I think a lot of people thought Ohio was going to be strong again in the MAC. And not saying that they're not a strong team,
Hmm.
but what does that say about us? Like it says a lot about how they think about Ball State if they just say, "Oh, they just beat Ohio. Like they were just the
Fluke.
MAC champs last year." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like yeah, fluke, like whatever, like. I don't know. You can't pay attention to stuff like this, John, because at the end of the day, it's just like it's noise. It's just noise. They want Ball State fans to be pissed off. They want Ball States to feel insecure about what we're doing or how we got this win. Like, no, we took this win, right? And we're gonna take another win from Western Michigan. And at the end of the day, it's like we don't really care about this stuff. It just shows how they really feel about us. And duly noted, and we keep it moving, keep it pressing forward because we know what we have in the barn, right? Like we
Hmm.
know what we got up in Muncie, and I think it's going to continue to show as these weeks go on and as the team gets better. Well, it'll definitely start to show who Ball State really is, but they don't know who Ball State is yet. They really don't know if they're putting stuff out there like this.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's like we can't have it both ways here. We can't be told all off season Ohio is the best team by far. They brought back everybody. They have top 20 quarterback in the country. This, that, and the other, and then Ball State beats them, and then they act like, oh, well, okay, well you're not going to move at all. Again, I
Right.
get how it was done. I get that it was aggregated, amounts of people that put their stuff in, but I just don't understand how all those people as a aggregate didn't have them move up on this power ranking. But again, like Willie said, it's not really a serious thing. It's all in fun. Us talking about it's all in fun. So I appreciate
Right.
the stuff that the MSC connection does. But yeah, I thought this was crazy, and I thought we should talk about it. So, Ball State fans,
Yeah.
if you agree with this, let me know. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. But Collins,
I commented on Twitter about it. I said like, this says a lot about the guys that are voting because it's just like, how does this happen? Like, I don't understand. Like, so what if we beat Western Michigan? When and if we do, like, what do we move up to seven? Like, and Western Michigan
Right,
moves
right.
down to five.
yeah.
Come on. Like, we beat two people on the left side of the board who are all stacked on top of each other. I think we should be on top of them at that point. You know what I mean? Like. I might be crazy, but when I watched the tape, when I saw what Ball State did, like, I just can't wait to see more Ball State and what they do. Like, I want to see more
Mm.
Ball State. Like, I would. That's how I would feel if I was the committee. Like, okay, I'm ready to watch Ball State now. Like, are they for real? And I think Ball State's got people attention right now because that was a big upset win for us.
Mm-hmm. Colin, did you have something else there?
It was basically what Willie was going to say. If we beat Western Michigan next week, we should be number 4, and Western Michigan should definitely be below us. And then one more thing. This is just to the Mac Sports Connection. I like to message you guys time to time, and vice versa. You guys do the same thing. Put Willie on the voting board. You guys need to have Willie on the
There you
voting
go.
board for some Ball State legitimacy. That way I know
Oh
it's
my
not super
gosh,
unbiased. That's what I got, John.
But yeah,
I appreciate that.
I've also noticed too, while maybe some people out there who vote on stuff like this haven't noticed Ball State kind of moving up some. I have noticed it in the betting lines. If you'll remember, when we played UConn, we were like a 22-point underdog. Last week, we were like a 14-point underdog. This week against
Mhm.
Western Michigan, 8. So that number is drastically coming down, and Vegas is realizing that, hey, wait a second, we're giving this team way too many points every week. Ball State's 4-1 against the spread this year. The only game they lost was Purdue, which Colin picked us to win, by the way. So,
I also predicted us to win Ohio. I just
you
want to
did.
throw that
That's
out
true.
there.
You did. You did. You did. You did. You did.
John
So
did not.
I did not. I did say they'd cover the spread easily, which obviously they did.
Dang,
But
John.
hey,
Damn, man.
I'm just putting it out
Yeah,
there. So
I
I
feel
guess
you.
we can do We can do predictions here real quick. I guess, Colin, we didn't really do them when we had those guys on, so we can do predictions right now if you'd like. Before we get to predictions, anyone out there, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to get them in right now. We only have a couple segments left to get to them. So we had a bunch from our friend Bullseye Bronco when they were on at the beginning. So it could just be a Bullseye Bronco show, but if anyone else wants to throw anything out there, let us know. So, I guess we do predictions here. Colin, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, the spread is Ball State plus 8.5. I have a feeling that's not going to matter to you here. What do you got?
This team, Western Michigan, can win by just scoring 14 points against someone like Toledo. They're not going to beat us by 8.5 or whatever the line is. It's going to be a close game. The Broncos Barn just told us they like to play a grinded out type of football. Okay, so do we. So that's why I got a low scoring affair here. I'm going to go 17-14 for a Ball State win.
Okay. Willie, what about you?
Yeah, I like Ball State's offense building on what they did last week. I got them scoring more than 14, so I'm gonna go 20-13.
2013. Okay. So here's my thought on this. I think Western Michigan's a good team. I think this is the first time in 3 or 4 years where Ball State fans really are optimistic about things. We've been kicked and kicked and kicked ever since basically the bowl game against Georgia State going into that. So I think this is really the first chance we have to prove that this team is actually what we think they might end up being. So I'm taking Ball State to win as well. If you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have said I don't think Ball State's going to win. I think it'll be close. I'm going to go 24-21 Ball State. And that's just because I think they have to prove themselves here. And this is the perfect chance for them to do it, is stack these wins against these two good teams. So I'll take Ball State as well. So, Colin, I know you didn't think I was going to do it, but I did.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So don't make me regret that. Anyone out there listening. So we got 3 chirps. Willie, you got some chirps for me here?
I do. So my first chirp is different from last week, and we didn't really get to do it against Ohio, but I want to see our offense establish the run again. I feel like when we're able to run the football, it opens up a lot of things for Kyle Kelly, both in the passing game and for his own running ability. He scored on that 14, 15-yard run for the touchdown last week on 4th down. That was awesome. I just believe a strong part of our offense is going to continue to establish the run each game, right? We got to be able to control the clock. We got to be able to move the chains, running the football, and it'll keep pressure off of Kyle Kelly and allow him to make plays in the passing game as the game goes on. My second chirp is I'm challenging the playmakers in the Kyle Kelly group to be better on 3rd down. Keep the defense off the field. We have established, and I think they've established it as well, that the defense is the strength of the team. And one of the things that we have to do as an offense is we got to continue to stay on the field so that the defense stays fresh and motivated to go out there. So when they do go out there, they're jumping out of their skin and not trying to catch their breath. So I really just want to see the offense start converting on 3rd down, stay on the field, move the chains, get our playmakers the ball. I heard the guys from the Broncos, the 2 guys you interviewed, that they're struggling in the secondary. I think they said that's a weaker part of their team, their defense. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for our playmakers, to get open on some routes and to move the chain. So put it on those guys to be great on 3rd down as a way to help them win the game. And my last chirp for the defense, they played a great second half against Ohio, but one stat that I didn't see outside of the safety was turnovers. We have yet to take a turnover, like a convincing turnover, to where it was a game-changing play. And I think in order for us to seal the victory against the Western Michigan Broncos, who are going to be a grinded-out team, I remember playing them. They were always rough and tough. We're going to get their best punch every time. Respectable program, always. But the defense is going to have to make a strong play at some point in the game and create a turnover to kind of seal the deal and give the offense a short field to go out there and score points. So I want to see the defense either get a punch out, a rip out, strip sack by Nathan Vorez, getting pressure, force the ball into traffic, get the pick, and possibly take it for 6. But I want to see the defense create a turnover this week as a way for us to seal the victory and head back to Muncie happy and going into homecoming feeling good. So those are my three chirps, and hoping we get the job done come this weekend.
Colin, before I go to you, Willie, I had a question about one of the things you said. So one of the things you want to see is us establish the run game better than we kind of did against Ohio. So the guys who we had on from the Bronco Barn were saying that that's probably like their number one strength is this run defense that they have.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a quarterback as mobile as Kyle Kelly, does that kind of negate some of the run defense, like traditional run defense that they might be talking about, or is a run defense good against running quarterbacks and just regular running backs?
It could be. I guess it depends on play selection too, from Coach U and staff and what they have schemed up this week against their defense. You got to respect their run defense if that is the strength of their defense, but I don't think it'll take away from what we want to do. The quarterback is a weapon. You have to account for him every time. And if he's running the football, that just means we have an extra blocker with the running back.
Mm-hmm.
So that in that way it works to our favor. But the thing is that they can blitz. They can hit the gaps and kind of mess up the run game, and some of those plays where guards are pulling or whatever the case may be, throw off those pullers. So you have to be careful in those ways. But I think it's going to come down to who wants it more, who's the grittiest team, and who can withstand the other team more, if that makes sense. Like who's gonna be the one to kind of push them over the cliff, so to speak. Because we're either gonna get stopped by the run game to force us to throw, or we're going to establish the run so that we can complement the passing game with the run. So I definitely look forward to the battle because I heard those guys say that the run game is the strength of theirs. So it'll be interesting to see how we attack their defense, either by using Kyle Kelly more or getting number 9. And I think Horton should get Quay Ashley and Horton should be touching the rock a little bit more because he's a different dynamic from Ashley. He brings a different type of game to the run game. So definitely want to see those two working more. Keep Kyle Kelly clean because he took some shots against Ohio. I never want to see that. So get the playmakers the ball in space and get those two running backs, those workhorses, get them going early on Saturday.
Perfect. All right, Colin, your 3 chirps for this weekend. What do you have for me?
Yeah, my 3 chirps. And Willie, I really liked yours. It's rare that there's no crossover, so that's kind of cool. My number 1 is no missed field goals, because this is going to be the type of game where a field goal could win this thing. Like the difference between a win or a loss or a OT could literally be on the leg of our kicker. So we can't have any missed field goals. Number 2, I got 2 touchdowns from Kyle Kelly because I just think this is going to be such a low scoring affair that really, if he gets maybe 1 touchdown running, 1 touchdown passing, or both running, or both passing, however he gets it, I just want to get 2 touchdowns from Kelly because if you guys remember, they beat Toledo by a score of 14-13. I think that defense is suffocating. Their quarterback runs it. He ran both their touchdowns in against Toledo, so I think we should match that energy. I want at least 2 touchdowns from Kyle Kelly. That's my second chirp. My third and final chirp is I need a big play from someone on the offense other than Keon Magwood and Kyle Kelly. So far, they've been putting the offense on their back. And I don't care if it's Quay Ashley, I don't care if it's Donovan Hamilton, if it's Ty Robinson, if we get him back in there, somebody's got to make a play for QB1 and take the pressure off Keon because he might be seeing a double team. So those are my 3 chirps, John.
Perfect. All right. My 3 chirps. Number 1, something we haven't done in any game this year. I want us to score first. I want to get off to a good start. I want to get off to a lead so we can really run this offense how we want to. If we want to be able the option to really set up this run, I don't want to be playing from behind and being forced to pass. So I want us to score first. We haven't scored first in any game yet this year. I think this is the weekend where we need to score first. Number 2, kind of what Colin said. Offensively, or defensively, actually, we need somebody outside of the usual names to step up and make some big plays this weekend. We know what we expect from Kyle Kelly. We know what we expect from Keon Magwood, from Quay Ashley, from Nathan Voorhees, from Ashton Whitner. We want to hear some names from people that we've been waiting to hear from. Maybe Eric Weatherly, maybe a Ty Robinson, guys who we know can do stuff. We want to see them make big plays this weekend. So I want to see these guys who are not the names we've been saying every single week in and week out. I want to see someone step up and make a big play this weekend, whether it be a touchdown, whether it be a turnover, something like that. And lastly, I talked about it kind of in the prediction section. Let's use this momentum and keep the fans engaged and locked in for the rest of the year. Let's go out and really prove that this is a new Ball State team in a new era. Mm-hmm. Last week, they did that. Last week was a game, the last 3 or 4 years, that they 100% lose. They find a way. That Hail Mary at the end of the game, the last 3 or 4 years that Ohio had, that gets caught. Kyle Kelly doesn't score, or Keon Magwood doesn't catch that ball. He steps out of bounds. Like that stuff that happens the last 3 or 4 years, they didn't do that last week. They proved that they are a different team and they can close these games out against good teams. You got everyone's attention now in the fan base. Keep it going this week. Go out there, make a statement, get another win against a big, good MAC team on the road, and people you're going to see at that homecoming game at Akron, the turnout. People will be there. People will be fired up. People will be ready. So let's use this momentum from this big win and really prove to everyone out there that this is a new team in a new era. So those are my 3 chirps. Okay. We don't really have many listener questions outside of the Bullseye Bronco person, and we read some of them earlier. So, Willie, I'll ask you a couple questions. So, Western Michigan, we always play close. We always have some classic games with them. What are some memories you have in your time playing games against Western Michigan, whether it be maybe a specific play or a specific game, or what it's like to go play up there?
Yeah, I remember playing up there my freshman year. They were pretty good that year. They had Jordan White, who was like a 6-year senior at the time. He was really good, and I didn't play much that game. That was kind of like the part of the season where I wasn't playing much. It was more Jack Tomlinson, Jamil Smith, and Briggs Orsbon, Torrey Gibson. So I was watching most of the time my freshman year, and I just remember Western Michigan's passing attack was just lethal at the time. They were running like 5 wides every play, and they were just picking our defense apart, just the zone and everything. So they've always been legit. They've always had great players. The atmosphere up there is going to be exciting because they're playing better right now. So there's a lot to be excited about in Kalamazoo, and I know they're going to. They probably think that this is a game that they probably should win. So I expect their fans to be up and roaring. And then my junior year, we went up there and we destroyed them. We were a different team than the one that we played my freshman year. We just had playmakers all over the place. I was in my bag that year, and the defense was playing really well. We just were playing great complementary football. So one thing for sure, getting Western Michigan, especially up in Kalamazoo, you're going to get their best punch. So we just got to be able to counter. We got to be ready for that haymaker they're going to be trying to throw. And it's going to be a 4-quarter battle. So we just got to be ready for it and just be able to handle the elements. Hopefully the weather isn't too bad up in Kalamazoo right now. Hopefully Colin, you get some sunshine and some cool Michigan breeze off the lake. But it's going to be a battle, man. It's going to be a good game, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
If I remember correctly, was Western Michigan was the school you almost went to, correct?
It was, yes. There was some bad blood there. I was actually committed to Ball State when Coach Stan Parrish was the head coach at the time.
That's right.
Rest his soul, R.I.P. And then I decommitted when they fired Stan because I didn't know who the coaching staff was. And at the time, Mark Cubitt was the head coach at Western Michigan, and he was recruiting me heavily, both as a receiver and a quarterback. So I decommitted from Ball State and committed to Western, and then that lasted for like 3 weeks. And then Pete Lembo got the job, and he gave me a phone call, and the rest is history. And I had to call Mark Cuban and tell him I wasn't coming to Western anymore. I was going to be a Cardinal. So there was some bad blood that first year. I didn't get to go out there and kind of perform. I got to just sit on the sideline and watch it happen. But my junior year, I definitely got to go back up there and torch the Broncos, if you want to put it some type of way. But
There you
I've
go.
always had good matchups with Western, man. They're a great team, great program, and we should expect a battle come here on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Colin, anything that stands out to you about Western Michigan Ball State history outside of maybe the 2020 game? Anything that stands out to you?
Really no. Like what stands out to me about this team really is they've got the stud at D end. They've got another one at running back. I think Lowry stands out. I mean, he's kind of like Kyle Kelly, but like beefier and slower, but like maybe a little bit, harder to bring down. If you're just running into each other. Um, so I think it's going to be a real challenge. I think, their strengths kind of line up with like when I'm playing, like, for example, every week, John, I play the college football 26 and I try to score as many points as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm using Kyle Kelly. I'm rushing around and they have that end that's like super, super athletic, able to move people around. I feel like they kind of match up decently well with us too. So,
Hmm.
some of it's strength on strength as well. I mean, they have a good run game. I think we have a good front seven. So a lot stands out, John. I think this is gonna be a great game. This could be the MAC game of the week. I know there's Bowling Green and Toledo have that rivalry game going on, and UMass Kent State is kind of
So
the
I was
toilet
waiting for
bowl,
that.
but it's gonna be fun. I hope UMass wins, although I got love for Kent State too. But yeah, I think this could be the game of the week.
Okay.
Two hot teams.
Two hot teams. That's right. So my main memory with Western Michigan outside of the 2020 game, which is the biggest one that comes to mind for me, was my time working for the Indianapolis Colts. We had an offensive lineman named Joe Wrights. He was a Western Michigan guy, but he did not play football at Western Michigan. He played basketball at Western Michigan. And he was converted into a lineman. Willie, did you ever have any of the teammates in the NFL that were converted basketball players?
Yes, former Ball State player. He was a basketball player at Ball State. His name was you probably
Oh,
remember him, John.
Nico House or
No,
something House.
not him. He was a I don't, he wasn't an exchange student. Oh gosh, I forget his name. I see his face. It's like Adeyo. He was a basketball player at Ball State. I cannot remember his name to save my life. But funny story is he was playing basketball at Ball State and he converted into a football player when he graduated and he got a shot with the Ravens and we connected in Baltimore. He was
Huh.
on the practice squad for 2 years in Baltimore. But he was playing basketball. He even came in with us in 2011. We were sharing the dorms in the summer, and it was like the football players and the basketball players were in the dorms together when everybody was at home, and we were just there for summer break. And I remember to this day, he was out there, and when I saw him in Baltimore, I was just like, I saw him for the first time because he came in for a rookie mini camp. I saw him walk into the training room, and I'm just sitting in there talking to the equipment guys. I'm looking at him like. I'm like, damn, man, I've seen you before. Where are you from? He told me I went to Ball State, bro. Like, you don't remember me? I'm like, hell yeah, I remember you, man. I was like, wow, like, but you was playing basketball, and now you here at this mini camp, and he was just like, yeah, they see me playing DN. Dude, I'm gonna get the name for you, bro. It's
I think
it's
I got
it's
it right here.
bothering me right now, John. It's
Is this it?
bothering me. Yes, Aaron. Aaron.
Huh.
Yes, that is my
Interesting.
guy.
I
He
never knew
played
that.
defense. He played defensive end for the Baltimore Ravens. He was on our practice squad for the 2018 and 2019 season. And he
Huh.
was just he was just raw talent. And the defensive line coaches just like were drooling over this guy, but they knew he was a basketball player. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So he was on the developmental squad for a couple of years and yeah, Aaron, man. Aaron Odio. I can't say it. I can never say his last name, man. But double
Yeah.
A.
Interesting. I never knew that. I remember the name actually is Franco House. I remember he was
Mm.
he was there. I don't
I
know, a
remember
little while
Franco.
back.
Yeah.
He
Hmm.
he had a track with like the Bears maybe or something like that. So, anyways, we're way off topic now, but
Funny
it's
story. Sorry
interesting.
about
Yeah.
that.
So, anyways, okay. So that basically wraps up the show pretty much. Anyway, so just a heads up for everyone the rest of the week. After the game's over, so the game's at 3:30. So after the game is over this weekend, I believe I will be running the Twitter Spaces. So join us there for get your comments, questions, anything you want to talk about in there. and we'll have a chat and we'll talk for a half hour or so, whatever anyone wants to talk about. And then post game show is going to be going forward, unless we have a scheduling thing. I think we're going to do Sunday nights. I know we did Sunday mornings for a little while. We're going to do Sunday nights going forward. So join us hopefully Sunday night after a big Ball State win at Western Michigan. Colin, you said you had one more thing here for me.
Yeah, I just want to post a correction from last show. I was discussing the like how the game went, and I said there was a sack. Shout out to the O line. There were no sacks. They did even better than I thought. So shout out to them. Just want to make sure we're keeping it factual. And I like to post corrections every now and then. So yeah, I mentioned we had like Kyle Kelly got sacked once or something on the last episode. There were no sacks whatsoever. So good on the O line.
There we go. No sacks, no turnovers, right?
Nice.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Well, everyone, we appreciate you joining us tonight. That'll do it for this edition of Ball State of the Union. If you like what you heard, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps keep the show rolling and growing that base of everyone out there in this Cardinal community. So drop your score predictions in the comments for this weekend and let us know who's going to win. Is Ball State going to win? Is Western Michigan going to win? Let us know below. And we're excited, Colin. Have a good time at the game this weekend. Send us some pictures. Let us know what's going on. And if anyone sees Colin at the game this weekend, take pictures with him and tell him that he looks taller in person than he does on the podcast, apparently. So
I'll be wearing this shirt.
All right, beautiful. All right, we'll be back on Sunday night, everyone. And until then, chirp, chirp, and go Cardinals.